Hi, it's Ian again here from Safety First Driving School. In this video we're going to look at clutch faults on a driving test. I'm now going to demonstrate the most common faults on the clutch and explain what is wrong with each one and show you how to fix them. The most common form of coasting on the clutch is stopping the car by going clutch and then brake. I'm just driving up this road at the moment. I'm just going to pull in the side of the road here. So it's going to signal for this. But if I press my clutch down to the floor and now I'm braking gradually to bring the car to a stop, the car will never cut out, but it's called coasting or freewheeling, and you'll get a grade 2 fault with that in the clutch on the test. So I'm going to pull in and show you the second form of coasting is by clutching too early. So I'm just going to drive past this entrance and pull in. So even though I'm going to brake now, if I press the clutch down now, I should stop the car, but if I'm clutching too long, now eventually stop. It's another form of coasting by clutching too early, and that will also be a grade 2 fault on the clutch on the test. Another form of coasting would be when the car is travelling out of gear in neutral. So if I just pull in and park on the left for the moment, just to show you, even if I brake first and put the clutch down, if I go into neutral now and the car hasn't stopped, I'm now coasting out of gear as well. It's another form of coasting, and that'll be another grade 2 fault on the clutch on the test. The last form of coasting would be if I make a gear change, put my foot on the clutch and change gear without releasing the clutch, it'll be another fault on the test. So if I'm going to pull in and park here on the left, and at the last second I should just stop the car now, but if I put my foot on the clutch and maybe change the second, but I stay on the clutch without releasing it, I'm now coasting as well because I didn't release the clutch, and again that'll be another grade 2 fault on the clutch. So I'm now going to show you the correct way of stopping the car by using the clutch correctly without getting a clutch fault on the test. It's what we call stopping the car in gear. So I'm in 4th gear at the moment. I'm just going to pull in on the side of this road. What I'm going to do is just slow on the brake, keep my 2 hands on the wheel, brake a little bit harder, and then put the clutch down where I want to stop the car, which is here. So you put the clutch down where you want to stop, so handbrake and then neutral. Another example of the correct use of a clutch is if you decide to drop the gear to slow the car down. I'm in 4th gear at the moment. If I decide to go from 4th to 3rd, let's say I'm approaching a turn or a junction or roundabout, if I slow on the brake and my foot goes down on the clutch, I change gear, my left foot must come off the clutch. If I decide to maybe go from now 3rd to 2nd gear, it's going to pull in here. If I go slow on the brake, 2nd gear, well, I must release the clutch and then brake and clutch to stop. So every time I've changed gear, I've released the clutch, and you won't get a fault on the test for that. Another form of coasting would be if I press the clutch down to the floor without either stopping the car or changing gear. For example, if I just put my foot down on the clutch here, the car is actually coasting. If I just release it now, without stopping or changing gear, I'll get a mark for that on the clutch on the test. Another bad habit on the clutch is what we call riding the clutch, where your left foot is constantly sitting over the clutch the whole time, even though you're not using it. So your left foot should be on the floor, near enough to the clutch when you're not using it, or on the clutch rest here. So your left foot should only be near the clutch to change gear, and then your left foot back on the floor. So if my left foot stays here, the driver tester might think I'm using the clutch and may in fact mark you for that. Another form of coasting on the clutch is using the clutch as a second brake. For example, when you're using it going over ramps or on left or right turns. So I'm just approaching a ramp ahead. I'm in 3rd gear. To slow my speed, all I need to do is use my brake. But if I press my clutch as well without stopping or changing gear, I'm now using the clutch as a second brake, and that would be a clutch fault on the test. Another one would be if I'm turning left here. If I'm in 3rd gear, I'm going to change in the 2nd, but I'm going to stay on my clutch around the corner. This is another form of coasting. The reason why people do this on the test is because they don't brake hard enough and they're using the clutch to slow down. But that would be another very common fault on the clutch. If you wish to learn on how to take left or right turns or negotiating ramps correctly, just refer to my other videos.